Hello and welcome to Sports Today. Our usual time, 12 o'clock meeting time with our fantasy picks, with plenty. But first things first, like I've said, India beating Argentina. India beating Argentina 3-0. Very, very important result for Indian hockey. This is the second time. We have seen how the team did against Argentina earlier, and now this. This is really, really good signs going into Tokyo. And I was actually sitting this morning and thinking April to May, May to June, June to July, exactly 3 months down the line, we are at 100 days. Today is actually the 100th day almost. Because if you see, 101 days, because today is the 12th. So if you think 23rd of July, it is actually the 100 days to go. Uh, it is important. It is important that 100 days to go. So one needs to think how India can do or will do at Tokyo. So the hockey result augurs very, very well. That's what I think uh, is great news for Indian sport. In terms of wrestling, we have seen what our girls have done. In terms of men, yesterday it was very disappointing. Satyavat Kadian, in 30 seconds, lost his Olympic berth. That's how cruel sports can be. In a 100-meter dash, if you have a false start, 4 years of effort, one false start, you have finished. In 30 seconds, Kadian, who's a good, very, very good prospect, lost out on his Olympic berth. For years and years and years, athletes ready themselves, get themselves prepared for that one moment of glory. And then it all disappears within 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And you can understand that what these young men and women go through mentally, what it is like to be an athlete, how cruel it is like to play sport at the highest level. That is why we need to appreciate them that much more. We have a chance in baddy, we have a chance in wrestling, we have a chance in boxing, we have an outside chance in athletics as well. With Dheeraj, there is a real chance. So make no mistake, this is a good Indian contingent. We will have a decent chance in hockey. We will win multiple medals in shooting. Not a chance, we will win multiple medals in shooting. And of course, in para sport, we will win more than 15, is what I have consistently claimed, which will make it a revolution. So that's what I wanted to start with and tell you about hockey. Now, coming to the game tonight. Uh, Kings 11, Punjab Kings versus Rajasthan Royals. First to the Rajasthan Royals. How telling is the Jofra Archer blow? I think it's seriously telling, because Jofra Archer, if we see his performances over the years, also for England in more recent times, and last year especially, Jofra Archer has been sensational in the first spell. Very rare that Jofra Archer doesn't pick a wicket in his first 2 overs and hardly concedes anything. And even when he comes back, maybe divided into two spells of an over each, he can pick one or two. So a consistent two-wicket player in that sense for the Rajasthan Royals, and important top-order wickets and also wickets at the death. So a major, major thing will be missing from that Rajasthan Royals lineup. Will Chris Morris be able to fill up? Maybe not. I mean, however much Chris Morris, they have opened their purse, tremendous amount of money, but I think Jofra Archer is a much better bowler. Yes, Morris will generate speeds, but Archer is 10 kilometers faster. He touches 150. Morris will not be able to, perhaps, and also the lengths that Archer bowls, his bouncer more deadlier. He's a better bowler than Morris. Morris is a good all rounder, but I think Rajasthan Royals will miss Jofra Archer. The other player who they might miss or will miss, I'm told, is David Miller, because David Miller has not been able to complete quarantine yet. It will be done today. So he should be available for selection from the second game. Mustafizur Rahman is another player who they could have gotten in for Jofra Archer, who might just be finishing quarantine today or is available from today but has had no practice. Will they play Mustafizur Rahman is a question. So the dependence will be on Karthik Tyagi, somebody like a Jaydev Unadkat, and of course Chris Morris, along with someone like a Shreyas Gopal. So Rajasthan Royals, in that sense, Morris will have to take additional responsibility, and obviously they have the talisman in Ben Stokes. At the Wankhede, Stokes at the top of the order, ball coming on can be a real handful, and we know what Stokes can do, win you a game single-handedly. Where will Joss Butler bat? Will they take advantage of the fact that no Smith last year? That was a problem. Butler had to drop down. Will they go Stokes, Butler, Samson? Is that the top three? Will, if that is the case, it's a hugely impressive top three from the Rajasthan Royals. So that's another important one that the Rajasthan Royals will have to decide. But Josh Butler, give him maximum number of balls. We have seen what he can do, how destructive he can be on a wicket where the ball will come on. Josh Butler can win you a game single handedly. The other thing one needs to keep in mind is the toss. At the Wankhede, and I will talk about the fantasy team in just a second. At the Wankhede, the toss is far more important than in Chennai. We have seen that with the game so far. In Chennai, whatever happens with the toss, it will be competitive. But in Wankhede, because of the toss, the team batting first, inevitably the team that will win the toss will decide to chase and they'll bowl first. The team that will bat first will inevitably be at a bit of a disadvantage at the Wankhede. So that is something you need to keep in mind when you play your fantasy team. Make your changes at 7 p.m. when the toss happens and the final changes are done in the next 20 minutes. So keep that in mind when you do your fantasy team, because even if a team gets 180, 190, that is eminently chaseable at the Wankhede. So go batting heavy, and also keep in mind that any score is not safe, especially with the kind of firepower that there is in the teams that are facing off today. Coming to Punjab, first things first, watch the Jai Richardson and Riley Meredith interview on Sports Today at 1 p.m. I have tweeted the link. I have played the link last night for you on our post match show. Fascinating conversation with two young men who still can't believe the amount of money that they have been paid. So, will that put pressure? Does money talk? Will that be added responsibility? Or when you go out there, it doesn't matter? What is the kind of approach that Jai Richardson and Riley Meredith will take? Because of the fact that the two of them are there with each other, will that make a difference to the two of them? How are they shaping up with Anil Kumble? Anil Kumble as coach, what have they heard? What are the conversations like with Anil Kumble? Fantastic chat. So do definitely listen in to two young men with so much talent and so much hope and aspiration. That's at 1 p.m. Once again, I say that's at 1 p.m. on Sports Today. Coming to the Punjab team, uh, fantastic side. If you take a look, last year they did not use Gale at the top. This time, I think from game one they will use Gale. So it will be Rahul, Mayank, Gale, Puran. That is the lineup I see. I do not see a space for David Malan yet. I think it will be these four, and then maybe somebody like Deepak Huda. That's the kind of thing I do see. But the top four on a batting wicket like the Wankhede can more often than not close it out. That's very important. Very important. If Rahul gets going, Mayank gets going, Gale and Puran. And for me, the X factor player for Punjab this year round will be Puran. More of Nicholas Puran means more damage and more destruction for any of the opposition teams. But where Punjab has really made amends is the bowling. Because last year with Mohammad Shami, Sheldon Cottrell started out but just lost team. Mohammad Shami and then Arshdeep to a degree and nothing. That is where the change has happened. With Riley Meredith and Jai Richardson, and I think both can play. Both can play. So it can be Gale, it can be Puran, it can be the two faster bowlers. They have a decent bowling attack with these two, and of course Mohammad Shami, and they will play Ravi Bishnoi for sure. So that can be a handy attack. Or I think they might also drop Riley Meredith, go with Jai Richardson, and play Moses Enriques, because if they do that, Moses Enriques can finish it off. We have seen what he does for Australia. We have seen what he can do in the Big Bash. So he's a big player. He's a big player. That's another option that they have. But KL Rahul at the top of the order, Mayank Agarwal, excellent opening pair, and then Chris Gale and Nicholas Puran, and then Deepak Huda, somebody like an Enriques if he does play. And then obviously the bowling department with Richardson, Shami. If they play Meredith or not, they will have Arshdeep to bank on. They also have Ravi Bishnoi, who will have 1 year's experience. So Punjab Kings, with most of or all of them available, David Malan might not get a game, despite being one of the best T20 players in the world with four foreigners. I absolutely see Puran number one. I see Gale because they will give Gale an opportunity based on what he did last year. If Gale doesn't play, then obviously David Malan walks in. And if he does, he's a champion player, David Malan. Jai Richardson for sure, and maybe Meredith or Enrique. So that's how I see the four foreigners for Punjab Kings shaping up, but it's a very, very good side. So let me take the questions and what you guys have to tell me. So, okay. So before I delve into my viewers and fans and all of that, here's the fan fight video for you. Let's play the fan fight video and I will come and take the questions and obviously discuss the fantasy team.
It's match day. Play fantasy cricket now. Get up to 2.5 crores daily and lots more. 20 times more. Win big on Fan Fight. This game involves an element of financial risk and may be addictive. Please play responsibly and at your own risk.
Okay, so let me take the questions now. Okay, so plenty of questions already. Avinash Boriada, I'm a big fan. Fine journalist. Any topic with clear. Thank you. Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon. India defeated Argentina. Said that Vanshaj Mehrotra at the very top of the show. अविनाश आपको नहीं लगता आईपीएल में केएल राहुल पंत सैमसन जैसे लोग कैप्टन बनाकर आईपीएल डिवैल्यूएशन हो रहा है? एकदम नहीं भाई, डिवैल्यूएशन होने का बात ही नहीं बनता है। केएल राहुल एक एक सुपर प्लेयर है, भविष्य में इंडिया के लिए भी कैप्टनसी कर सकते हैं। इतना दिमाग तो उनमें है, इतना टैलेंट है, इतना पोटेंशियल है। ऋषभ पंत भारत के फ्यूचर भी है, डिवैल्यूएशन होने का बात ही नहीं है। सो एब्सोल्युटली नॉट। সন্দীপ চ্যাটার্জি সামথিং ইন বাংলা। সন্দীপ বাংলায় কি বলবো বলো ভাই, মোস্ট অফ দি অডিয়েন্স ইজ ন্যাশনাল, সো henceforth I am doing English and Bangla, English and Hindi, but absolutely at some point in time in Bangla as well. Praveen, I think PK should go with both Chai and Meredith, as we have seen how teams struggle against draw pace. Exactly the reason I said so, Praveen, and the reason was Jofra and Wood. So 145 Ks always difficult for teams to negotiate. So that is why I think both. That's why I started with both and I got them both for that interview as well. Rajesh, will Gale be allowed to play today? Yes, he should be. Why not? Will they play Richardson along with Puran and Onriks? Puran for sure, Richardson for sure. Onriks, I don't know. They might go Onriks, they might go Meredith. That's how you see Rahul today. IPL 21. Shubham Singh, I think I've answered your question. Rajesh, student Gale, yes, I've answered that. IPL 21, how do you see Rahul today? See, Gale is one of my favorite players. I mean, I've seen that fellow evolve. As captain, he's a very, very mature man. How will he shape up? Has not had the best of series. Coming in against England in the one days, he came good. Not so in the T20s, did not get a couple of good games, but he's so good. He's so much quality that at any point in time, all I want KL to bat like KL, bat aggressive, go aggressive at the top. That is very, very important for a Kings 11, Punjab Kings, that KL Rahul bats like the way he does. Shubham Singh, I've answered that. Richardson, Praveen, I think I've answered that. Avinash, I've answered that. Vishnu Reddy, IPL, do you think will be played in Australia in future? No, I don't think, Vishnu, that is going to happen at all because of the Big Bash. Australia has its own T20 league and it's a very, very good T20 league. The quality of the Big Bash is excellent, so I do not see that happening. Who should be the openers for Punjab Kings? It will be Rahul and Mayank. From what I understand, it was a sensationally good opening pair. They know each other very well. And I'm going to get Mayank Agarwal as my fantasy captain because Mayank Agarwal, I think last year before the injury, was in tremendous form. There's much to expect from Mayank Agarwal. I might even go in with Mayank Agarwal as my fantasy captain. YouTube man, yesterday you predicted Manish to score high. There's nothing. Today, one day you can get it right, one day you can get it wrong. But all you do is you try and analyze, having played fantasy every day the last 4 years, men's games, women's games, every kind of fantasy league that there is played. I play it every day. So I exercise some kind of judgment as to how I pick my team. So you look at the conditions, you look at the toss, that's how you pick your captain and vice captain. You pick certain players you want to bank on. If I'm thinking that the team batting first will score 200, which means pressure, so I will not go. अगर मैं ये सोचता हूँ कि पहला जो टीम बैटिंग कर रहा है वो 200 बनाएंगे, so I will not go with the openers for the second team, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है 200 का जो प्रेशर होता है उसमें एक आध विकेट निकल जाएगा. So टॉस के बाद वो चेंजेस मैं कर देता हूँ. So फैंटेसी खेलना और नॉर्मल क्रिकेट टीम चुनना दो अलग बात होता है, और आप लोगों को भी वो याद रखना चाहिए अगर आप फैंटेसी खेल रहे हो तो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कल जॉनी बेस्टो सोच के बहुत लोगों ने सोचा था कि जॉनी बेस्टो ओपन करेंगे, पर रिद्धिमान साहा ने ओपन किया और नेक्स्ट मैच में भी रिद्धिमान साहा ही ओपन करेंगे। मुझे जो लगता है, मुझे ये लगता है कि पंजाब को रादर सनराइजर्स हैदराबाद को जेसन होल्डर को खिलाना चाहिए मोहम्मद नबी के जगह, क्योंकि अगर उनके बॉलर्स को आप देखें, एंड दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, अगर आप बॉलर्स देखें, संदीप शर्मा शॉट, भुवनेश्वर कुमार शॉट, टी नटराजन शॉट, बाउंस कौन कराएगा, स्टीप बॉल कौन डालेगा? अगर आप शॉट देना चाहते हो, बिकॉज ऑफ द लैक ऑफ हाइट फॉर एनी ऑफ दीज बॉलर्स, जो ट्रेजेक्टरी में बॉल आता है आप मार दोगे। सो आई थिंक मोहम्मद नबी के जगह, हाँ हालांकि उनको 2 विकेट मिला था, आई स्टिल थिंक जॉनी बेस्टो, राशिद खान तो खेलेंगे ही खेलेंगे। आपको और 2 जो फॉरेनर्स खिलाना है, डेविड वार्नर कैप्टन है वो तो खेलेंगे ही, लास्ट फॉरेनर आपको जेसन होल्डर को खिलाना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो पावर प्ले में आपको विकेट दे सकते हैं। सो मैं ये थोड़ा सोच के ये सटल चेंजेस कर देता फैंटेसी टीम में। Stay at home, Dheeraj Rao. Absolutely, bro. Stay at home because the virus is rampant. 170,000 cases in a day, close to 800, 850 deaths. It's shocking and painful. And when I see political rallies, when I see all of these people not wearing a single mask, I shudder. IPL 21, Deepak Hooda will be in the team. I think might bat 5, might bat 6, will come in with his off spin as well. So Harsha Vardhan, good question about Deepak Hooda. Avinash, Sanju Samson, KL Rahul captaincy. No, it doesn't devalue. I've answered that to you. Uh, Anmol Junmani, you've spammed me for a lot. Uh, Again, the same thing you have asked 200 times. Please don't do this. Exactly, the others are also telling you the same. Don't keep saying the same thing over and over again. There's too many questions for me. What is Rajasthan's best opening combination? Does SRK play for PKS? Bro, why are you asking me that? You should look it up, Dinesh. Shalini Balagopal, Rajasthan's best opening combination for me. Last year they were struggling a bit because they got Butler down. Wankhede means ball will come on. I will go Stokes Butler. I will give the 2 best people the opening combination. They might just come good. One of them comes good, win you the game. And 3 will be Sanju Samson for me. That's how I will go Shalini Balagopal. Uday Deshmukh, 200, 240, also less. 240 scoreboard pressure is as much that, if you get to 220, 240, automatically the scoreboard pressure becomes too much. But at the Wankhede, 200 is chaseable. So I agree in principle with what you are saying, Uday Deshmukh. It's just that I don't think that level of score can be chased in any ground, in any condition. Ankit Malavia, KL needs to bat 150 strike rate. Yes, KL needs to bat aggressive and be the KL that we know. Opening combination, I've given you that. Thamis, TM, Sanju Samson lack consistency. That's a very important point. I mean, that is the reason he was dropped from the Indian team. He's got so much potential, such a good fielder, but he's lacked consistency in first class cricket, in the long form, and the way he has played domestic cricket and also in T20s. Make no mistake about it. जयेश, राजस्थान रॉयल्स बॉलिंग साइड बहुत कमजोर है, सिर्फ क्रिस मॉरिस नहीं, कार्तिक त्यागी बहुत ही अच्छा बॉलर है जयेश। ही हैज के लिए वो आपको सोचना चाहिए कि कार्तिक त्यागी भी इंपॉर्टेंट बॉलर है। क्रिस मॉरिस तो है ही, श्रेयस गोपाल वो कैसे डालते हैं वो हमें देखना पड़ेगा फॉर राजस्थान रॉयल्स। Kuman, Uman Tharian, do you think Punjab have the depth in the batting lineup? Yes, I do. That's why I said the top 4 are a dream top 4. And after that, you also have somebody like a Deepak Hooda. I don't know if they'll play Moses. If they do, then they have a fantastic finishing as well. Uman, I've answered that. Deepak Hasija, thoughts about Shah Rukh Khan? Fantastic domestic competition. Fantastic. I mean, if you see his Syed Mushtaq Ali, the way he finished innings, excellent domestic competition. So, and if you see the IPL so far, Harshal Patel, Avesh Khan, Prithvi Shaw, Rahul Tripathi, Nitish Rana, Indian domestic players. Shaw has not played T20s for India. That's why I included him. So if you see, Indian domestic players have outdone foreigners, outdone even Indian internationals. So this is the Indian Premier League, and that's why it is special. Ishan Purel today, vlogs Vishnu. I think Ishan Purel absolutely should play ahead of Arshdeep because he was very good for Bengal, will hit the deck, get bounce, steep bounce, and Ishan is 3-4. So he's got the height to generate that steep bounce. So it's a good call. Too many questions. I think I've given you my more or less my fantasy side. I'll close it out now. My fantasy team will be slightly Kings 11 heavy. The top four will be there for Rajasthan: Stokes, Butler, and of course Samson will be there. The bowling will be slightly weak because credit points I've consumed most. So I will definitely go with the Jai Richardson. He will be my first bowling pick. I will go with the Karthik Tyagi, and if credits permit, I'll obviously have Mohammad Shami. And if it doesn't permit, then I will have a spinner like you know uh, either a Shreyash Gopal or a Ravi Bishnoi. But three bowlers, that's all I will go with at the Wankhede. I will go with all four wicket keeping options, perhaps Nicholas Puran, a KL Rahul, a Joss Butler, and because and a Sanju Samson, because each of them have tremendous amount of firepower. So that's how I will finish my show. Captain option, vice captain X factor, Nicholas Puran. My captain option is Mayank Agarwal. I will also sort of one team, if I play multiple, have Jai Richardson. That's how I will go about it. Have a good outing, enjoy your game. 1 p.m. on Sports Today. Please join, because 1 p.m. for you is that special interview with Jai Richardson and Riley Meredith. Takes a lot of effort to get these interviews done. Do watch, subscribe to the platform, and support us on Sports Today. Thank you very much for watching.